What's up, guys? How's it going? You might be wondering why I have my shirt on my head, but if you're patient, I'll get to that. So this is the field where I was at a couple days ago whenever I had a really powerful experience. But let me start at the beginning. A couple days ago, I had some medicine in the afternoon while I was working, moving some wood. And that's part of the training here, medicine while working. And after I was done with my work, I was kind of sitting in the maloka and not particularly feeling the medicine. But at some point, I laid down and I brushed my shirt off, and a piece of wood off my shirt fell into my eye. And I needed some assistance. So I went in to ask Sandra for some help, and she helped me get the wood out of my eye. And then she offered me a drink, so we sat there and chatted for a while. And while we were talking, some stuff came up that caused me to have a process. And at one point I had to go purge, so I went and purged, and then I was in the bathroom and some stuff was coming up, and I was realizing how much stuff in my life over the last few years have been coming up and reoccurring lessons that I need to learn, and just stuff that I feel like I'm not facing. And I just kind of got really fed up. I was like, I'm fucking tired of running, man. I'm tired of running from the things that I need to face, even though I've done so much work on myself over the past couple of years. Still certain things, certain really basic things that I'm avoiding. It's like, you know, taking your vitamins but not eating lunch or something like that. It's like avoiding the simple things that I need to make sure I have down, because those are stepping stones for the bigger things. And so I really just decided at that point, okay, I had already been reading a couple of articles about goals, realizing that I really need to do this, and I had those saved on my phone. So I decided, okay, in the next couple days, amongst my work schedule here, I am going to start finally setting some goals, which I've only really set goals in my life maybe one other time, as far as writing them down, making a plan of action. And that was shortly before I left for here in Colombia. So I didn't have really any time to attack those. And I actually didn't even end up bringing a copy of those with me. So first time in my life really attacking the goals and realizing that I need a plan of action for my development and my growth. And something that maybe will help some people understand where I'm at is I recently, before moving here, took the Jordan Peterson personality test, which is the most in-depth personality test in existence, and covers a bunch of different specific traits as well as sub-traits of those main traits. And in that, I found that, and I'm well aware that these are not fixed traits. They are just to help you identify where you're at. You know, traits are changeable and you can work on them to improve them. But my traits, the two that really got to me, really kind of alerted me, were I was in the bottom 5% in conscientiousness, which is your ability to follow through, to work on a project, to work hard, to take pride in your work, things like that. And the other one was I was in the, I think, top 1% of neuroticism, or it might have been vice versa. It might have been the other way around, where I was bottom 1% on conscientiousness and top 5% on neuroticism, something like that. But anyway, just kind of, that's where my head has been at. So doing this work has been incredibly challenging for me because of these things, which of course those things come from my past, the way I was raised, genetics, different variabilities. But anyway, so fed up, decided I'm going to make some goals. And then, as I'd mentioned before, I haven't really been having a whole lot of strong experiences here, and I thought that was just what the medicine wanted me to have, which in a lot of ways made sense to me, because it was forcing me to, not forcing me, but it was giving me more of an opportunity, I would say, to be more conscious with my changes in myself and the things that I'm working on, to not expect to have a really strong experience and then for it to be done, but for me to realize that this is just an opportunity for me to work on things and to do the stuff that I need to do. So along those lines, Taita talked to me and he said, okay, we are going to really teach you how to tap into the medicine. So he gave me 1 cup of medicine and he basically said, go sit in the field there and focus on gratitude. You know, thank you Pachamama, thank you Spirit, thank you Grandmother Ayahuasca, thank you to all your family, thank you to the water, thank you to the plants, thank you for everything. And he also said to focus on singing and music, you know, play my harmonica, use my maraca, and to sing. And focusing on those good things is going to give you what you need and help you to focus the energy on the good stuff so that you can tap into that good energy, and that will bring out the effects of the medicine. And after about 2 hours, I had not really felt anything yet, but then the effects of the medicine started coming on where I could notice them, and it was really light at first. I was sitting right over here by that little building right there. Okay, yeah, I'm not doing a very good job here. But I was sitting right over here, and after about an hour of sitting here behind the fence, there was more shade right here, so I decided to move right here where this log is, and I sat on this log, and this is where I put my shirt on my head, because I ended up coming out here and walking around, and my experience ended up being pretty profound. Even though it was not super strong, it was really profound. And I was just kind of walking around here, and one of the big things was kind of along the lines of realizing who I am, like realizing I'm a really silly person, and I like to have fun and I like to play, and for so much of my life I've held that in, and just held that stuff in and shielded myself from really showing who I truly am. And that's been a really big process for me throughout my life, and in the last year especially, I've really opened up a lot, and I still have a long way to go. But so realizing how I'm a silly person and I want to own this is who I am, this is one of my really best traits that I really love about myself. And so I was just walking around in the field out here kind of owning that and talking to myself aloud, which I actually enjoy. And people think you're fucking crazy when you do it, but I like to talk to myself out loud. It helps me process my thoughts better. And just like playing with my harmonica, and I would have different realizations. And one of the articles that I read about setting goals, you know, one of the important things about setting goals is to make sure they're stated in the positive. Don't say, I'm not going to do this anymore. Say, I am going to do X instead of Y, or something like that. And so make it positive. Make it about what you are going to do, what you are creating, what you are changing, instead of what you want to avoid. And I have a history of negative thinking patterns, which I'm working on. And so I would be out here in the field and I would have a revelation about something, and I would start going into a thought process about it, maybe feeling a little down, like, oh shit, that's going to take a lot of work. And then I would just have a realization like, oh shit, switch it up, mind switch, keep it positive. And I would rephrase it in a better way while playing around with my harmonica, and was having a lot of fun with it. And just walking around out here, being in nature, being with the medicine, and enjoying this kind of first time since I've been here in Colombia where I was able to tap into the medicine on my own and have a strong experience that ended up lasting 10 hours or something off of 1 cup of medicine, which usually for me 1 cup of medicine is very mild. But now I understand how to tap into these things, and it's just that I have to be able to tap into the subtleties and the milder sensations. And in my life, I have never really done that with anything. I've always been gung-ho, all in, gotta feel it hard, and you know, for various reasons, but so learning to tap into the subtleties and the mild sensations and realizing that it can still be really profound without you having to, you know, the equivalent of drinking 15 drinks at the bar. You know, you could have 3 or 4 or 5 drinks and have a really good time. You don't have to get super blasted. It's kind of a similar thing with ayahuasca or any other psychedelic. You just have to learn how to better tap into these things and to let it all flow and to tap into yourself. And so that was a really, really awesome experience for me here. Really powerful and really profound, and has me feeling really good. And so over the last couple of days, I worked on my goals. And to start, I just set 3-month goal, 1-month goal, and then this week. And I have about 8 goals for 3 months, 8 goals, you know, more mild steps to the 3-month goal for 1 month from now. And then I have about 8 goals plus a few additional goals just for this week. And I've been doing really good working with those, and I already feel the energy change. I can feel the difference in my work ethic because I really want to complete these. I've, for the first time, really, really committed to this and committed to doing these things that I want to do. And a lot of this is for me right now just about finding my own inner peace, because one of the other things that has come up for me is not feeling completely at peace here. And so living with Taita Bernardo and his family, living in their house, and I don't feel at peace all the time, because I feel what I am feeling is partly the feeling that I need to be doing something, I need to be doing more work, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that, and partly something that I think I'm pretty positive is from my relationship with my dad, where I never felt at peace at home when I was young. And because of that, this has been a reoccurring thing where I didn't feel at peace with my roommates in college 100%. I don't feel 100% at peace with my roommates when I was living in Texas before I was here, and I lived with them for 1.5 years, and they were really awesome. And I am not feeling totally at peace here either. And I'm realizing this is such an important thing. I need to be able to feel at peace in my place of residence, where I lay my head, where I am all the time. And so I'm making goals to find ways to work into that more. And I'm doing it. And it feels really good to be working on these things more consciously. And I don't know if I said earlier, but the reason I have my shirt on my head is because, as I was saying, whenever I was walking around that day out here in the field, it was really sunny and I was hot, so I took off my shirt. But then my head is bald, so I started burning, so I had to put my shirt on my head. And that is that. So anyway, there's a couple of updates for you guys. There's always so much other stuff going on here that I surely forget to mention. One other thing that has been really fun is I've started making maracas they're pretty small. Individually, they're approximately that big around, you know. But I'm making singles, doubles, and triples where I'll attach them to make them bigger, have more stronger, more powerful sound. And right now I'm making them with just a little loop on them, so you can attach it to like a small bracelet that I'll make as well, and kind of carry them just on your wrist where they'll dangle, and then you can just hold it in your hand, use it. Or I'm going to make bigger ones that I will use and use like a piece of ayahuasca for the handle, and I think that'll be pretty cool. But I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm painting those, and I'll just sit in there and paint in my room or outside and paint for like 3, 4, 5 hours without moving, drinking water, going to the bathroom, anything, just because I'm super into it. And there's not been a lot of things like that in my life that I've ever gotten that into, and it doesn't feel like work. It's just really enjoyable, and the time flies by when I'm doing it. And I'm really realizing that I'm an artist, and I did not ever know that in most of my life. I would draw a pretty good amount when I was young, but I think I stopped around when I was 12 years old. And now I'm making music. I'm practicing on the guitar, still just learning chords right now, but eventually I'll be able to put some music to that. And singing a lot of songs have been coming to me where I'm just writing songs for the first time in my life and just enjoying singing and making music and playing the harmonica and stuff more than I ever have before, and it's been really awesome. So realizing that I'm a really creative person and I'm an artist and I'm fucking silly and I like to have fun, and I just have to learn how to embody that more, because a lot of stuff from my past taught me to close off who I am and to be in a shell and all these different things. And so part of becoming who I am and living my truth is learning how to live my truth, to be who I am, regardless of what anyone thinks or what anyone says, and learning how to right now work through times of discomfort where I feel like wanting to go back to the pattern of closing myself off, of limiting myself, things like that. And other thing I'm making is little ayahuasca necklaces. Woo, ayahuasca! And I guess that's it for now, man. I love you guys. I hope everyone's doing good. And keep doing the work on yourselves. It is the most important thing that we can ever do in our lives. Work on yourselves, actualize yourself, learn about yourself, heal all the shit from the past, let it all go. You can do it. You guys are awesome. Peace.